In the summer of 2015, I was living in London, working as a lecturer at the Centre for Digital Music. Here I am that Saturday reading a blog post titled "The Unreasonable Effectiveness of Recurrent Neural Networks." The author describes how these networks are extremely powerful for modeling language. It could produce text that looks like Shakespeare, Wikipedia, and even mathematical proofs. Could the same modeling approach be used for music? The author of the blog post linked to code that he used for his experiments. And since data is the new oil, and I play folk music on my accordion, I know about a website that contains lots of data. The session is a crowdsourced repository of Irish traditional tunes, written in a textual format. It would be a simple matter to replace the Shakespeare data with these tunes and see what happens. And so we created the first version of folk-rnn, which could generate tunes, including titles. Here's a tune it created called "The Mal's Copper Rim." We created the website folk-rnn.org for other people to explore these models. To have the system generate a new tune, we just have to click Compose. 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 And there it is, tune number 65,754. As a complement to the session website, we've created the Machine Folk session. This website is a growing archive of tunes generated by the folk-rnn system. Here's a tune recently created called "Dress the Egg with a Hat." In 2017, my collaborator and I wrote an article about involving AI in music creation. We described a workshop we organized, Folk Music Composed by a Computer. The workshop featured a lively performance of traditional music mixed in with computer-generated tunes. We recorded some of these sets and included them as parts of the article. The Daily Mail heard about our project and asked if they could write a story about it. They renamed our algorithm Bot Dylan and said it writes folk songs rather than folk tunes. They linked to an excerpt from one of the recordings we posted as an example of computer-generated traditional music. People that bothered to comment on the story weren't impressed. "Sounds like a robotic Irish jig. Isn't music robotic enough these days? Music is sinful. Teach the robots about the Lord." The Daily Mail had made a mistake. The excerpt that they took from our recording was of a real traditional tune and not computer-generated. This could show that listeners are biased when listening to music they believe is generated by a computer. What would people really think if they didn't know? We hired Darren Benarsi, a London-based composer and practitioner of Irish traditional music, to create an album using material generated by our system. The result is "Let's Have Another Got On 'Em." We took this album and sent it around for reviews without revealing its origins. One reviewer said that we have done lovers of Irish traditional music an immense favor. Other reviews were similarly laudatory. This album can be heard on SoundCloud as an experimental album of Irish traditional music and computer-generated tunes. In much of our work up to this point, we had yet to consider the ethics of what we had done. We had essentially taken tens of thousands of transcriptions hand-entered by people around the world for many years and used it for a purpose that they had never considered before. What right do we have to this data? Why should machine learning be applied to this data at all? One commenter on the Daily Mail article said this: "This computerized AI is just so non-musically untalented lazy nerds can infiltrate the world of true musicians who love, created, and write the music from the joy, hurt, and life emanating from their hearts." It may seem that we've created a grave sin, but we're not the only ones. There's many businesses popping up applying AI to music. HumTap, Exhale, Ava, Popgun, Boomy, Mellowdrive, Algo Tunes, SoundDraw, Amper, LifeScore Music, Endel, Google Magenta, IBM Watson Beats, Sony CSL Music, Ardour, OpenAI Jukebox, Wave AI, Neutrino, Deep Music. What does this mean for music? This is the question at the center of my project Mosaic, Music at the Frontiers of Artificial Creativity and Criticism. This is a 5-year project funded by the European Research Council, in which we're going to explore how AI is a disruptive and transformative technology for music. But what can we do with these 65,000 tunes that have been generated by our system? We have founded the Society for the Preservation and Promotion of Machine Folk Music which aims to bring these tunes to life. We play these tunes on folk instruments as if such a thing has happened for centuries. On my blog, Tunes from the AI Frontiers, each week I highlight a particular tune I find interesting created by the AI. Last week was The Crisis of Proliferation. It seems somewhat natural to include an AI in the creation of traditional music. To conclude, I'd like to play a love song to my algorithm. It's titled Why Are You in Your 5,599,881 Parameters So Hard to Understand?